Hey guys, happy Tuesday, 12 o'clock Central Time. This is Walk Away Wealthy. This is a podcast. It's been going on for 3 years now. I'm Tricia Turner, and the purpose of this podcast is to bring you positivity every week to give you something to help you grow your business or improve your life or both. And typically, I've got a guest on the show, not always, but for the most part, I've got a guest on the show. And I usually do an interview style and let them share their story because, number one, I like listening to stories and hearing how people grow their business. There's always room to improve your business and learn new skills. And I like for people to be able to grow their business. And of course, using social media is how you do that. But today's guest had something come up, and so I'm unable to get a replacement in that fast. But every week moving forward, I've got some pretty cool people. They're always cool people that come on, but I've got some really cool people coming on too. And I've been focusing on local market updates, or not local, but when you look at the news, there's all kinds of different things where you hear, the Las Vegas market is crashing and the Austin market is crashing and Florida market is crashing and housing values are coming down. And you hear all kinds of information about Houston and so forth. And so it's like, you know what? I mean, I know people in all these places. Why am I not bringing them on to talk about this stuff? Let's hear it straight from their mouths. So if you've been paying attention, you've heard we've had Austin on, Austin, Texas. I've given Houston, Texas update. We've had Las Vegas on. We're having New Jersey on next week. We've got all of the major metropolitan areas coming down the pipe. But today we had to postpone our guest until another date, and that's okay. Super cool thing that we in the Houston market were looking at yesterday is appreciation charts, housing appreciation. And when you look at housing appreciation for the Houston market, you look at a 30-year time span, and like it overall in the last 30 years, it showed that Houston housing appreciation averaged about 4.9%, which is pretty normal because the national average is really like 5%. So not bad when Houston's right there, because historically Houston's been like between 2.9 and 3.4% for years. Now, when COVID hit, it was crazy on this chart, and I wish I had it to show you guys. I don't. But on the chart, when COVID hit, it showed the housing appreciation went up to like 10.1%, which is crazy high for the market. It showed appreciation. Now check this out, right? Then 2022 came down, right? Because that's when the market shifted last June. And then by September of 2022, we really were feeling a shift in the market. Now we're in 2023, September 2023. The graphs, it showed first quarter and second quarter for 2023 down, like super high for COVID year 2021. Drop significantly for 2022, drop significantly for 2023. So what does that mean if you're a homeowner and you're thinking about selling? Well, number one, like if you bought your home prior to 2021, you have a crap ton of equity still in your home, and it's still a great time to sell. It's actually a really great time to sell. And if you are a homeowner that bought your house in 2021, you unfortunately did buy it at the peak, because that's what the graphs are showing. And is your home still worth that? Maybe, maybe not. We'd have to look at the numbers. Is it a good time for you to sell? Probably not. The people that are looking at selling, they should look at if they've been in their home prior to 2020, really, because that's when you guys were gaining a lot of appreciation. Now, when you look at like, is it a good time to buy? It's an amazing time to buy. And that's where I think there's this misconception. And this is like across the board, not just in Houston. Houston has a little bit different dynamics because not only is interest up higher than it has been in the last 10 years, taxes are up, property values are up, home insurance is up. So when I've been interviewing people from other markets, they don't really have that dilemma with homeowners insurance. We do here. And I was talking to a friend of mine that owns a insurance brokerage over the weekend. And she's like, one of the guys we were talking to, he was like, it's because you guys get hurricanes. And she's like, it's not that. It's not the hurricanes at all that have caused homeowners insurance to skyrocket like it has. She said, really, ours has been hailstorms have really taken on, she said, especially in the Dallas market. So Texas as a whole is taking a huge hit when it comes to homeowners insurance. And so she said, there's carriers that are like pulling out. Not that they're canceling policies, she said, but they're not willing to write new business. So if you're a buyer and you're shopping for a home, part of buying a home is you have to obtain homeowners insurance. Well, part of us in the real estate world is to be that resource to hook you up with our referral partners that, like, hey, these people have great rates, great coverage. They do good communication with you, good service for you. So you've got to really be careful now who you are aligning yourself with regarding homeowners insurance, because it does matter. And if you are an existing homeowner, look at your policies, pay attention to when your renewal dates are, start shopping that stuff early, because perhaps your carrier is not willing to renew policies or write new business, or perhaps their rates have went up 25 to 50%, because a lot of them have went up like crazy. So when we in the real estate world are dealing with buyers, this is stuff you guys got to pay attention to. Las Vegas, they're not having that issue. They're like, their homeowners insurance isn't a thing. They don't have the natural disasters there like we do. And so when you're in the real estate world, y'all got to know these things. Like, you got to know how to do skills, negotiating, all of that stuff. But you also need to understand homeowners insurance. You also need to understand taxes, and you need to understand interest rates. So you need to understand all that stuff so that you can guide your clients, buyers, into the best thing for them. So right now, when I say it's a great time to buy, yes. Are you going to pay a little bit more? Yes, because homeowners insurance is high in Texas. Now, is that going to come down? She was saying probably not. This could be like the new norm. Usually when things go up, they usually don't come back down to where they once were. So is this the new norm? I don't know. But should that hinder you on buying a house? No. What are you going to do? Like, wait for eternity for maybe homeowners insurance rates are going to get better. Maybe interest rates are going to get better. I mean, stop basing those decisions on that kind of stuff. The truth of the matter is home values are not expected to go down. And in fact, the homes aren't moving as fast on the market right now in most parts. Therefore, if you're a buyer and you've got a neighborhood or a couple of different neighborhoods that you like or are interested in, number one, your real estate expert should be able to tell you how many homes are active in that neighborhood, how long they've been on the market, have they done price reductions, have they been relisted, did they fail to sell? Like, your expert advisor should be able to tell you all that stuff. And then you, number one, have more options. If you think back when COVID hit and you were a home buyer, there weren't any options because homes were flying off the market. You were lucky if you got one, and you weren't going to get any repairs done. You weren't going to negotiate. In fact, you were going to pay probably more for that house than it was worth. You were going to have to come to the table with a lot of cash. You're going to drain your savings a lot of times to get that house. And heaven forbid it actually need repair or updating because the sellers weren't doing crap. Well, guess what? Now you've actually got choices for most of Houston. You can go into a lot of the different neighborhoods and look at 5, 6, even 10 homes, which is unheard of. New construction as inventory. You guys have choices as home buyers. So what does that mean? That means you have choices. You have leverage, right? You can be in there and be like, hey, your house, you asking $540 for your house. Number one, is it really worth $540? Your expert should be able to tell you that. I'm not going to pay you. I'm not going to offer you $540. Maybe I'm going to offer you $520, but I also want to get $12,000 back in closing costs to help pay my rate down, my interest rate down. Or maybe it needs work and maybe it needs updating the house. So I need $12,000 back to put in new flooring. There's options that you're going to not have when that market shifts, because it's going to shift again. Like the interest rates where they are today, and I'm not an expert advisor in finances here, just putting a disclaimer out, but I do believe, and everybody that I collaborate with believes these interest rates are coming down. This is not sustainable what they're doing. So when those rates do tick back down, you as a home buyer, what do you think? If you're out there, number one, if there's only now 2 homes available, there goes a lot of your buying power and certainly your negotiating power. Because if I'm a seller and I know I'm the only house available or there's only one other, I'm not going to negotiate. I don't really care what you ask for. I'm going to wait for someone to come along and give me what I want. So that will come back into play, most likely. So if you're a home buyer, look at like, what can you afford? Here's what I can afford for a monthly payment. Maybe I need to not go to Starbucks for the next 6 months while I wait for the interest rates to come back down and I'll refinance. Maybe I need to not eat out every night. Maybe I need to look at my budget and trim something off so that I can add extra to my mortgage payment right now while interest rates are higher than they have been. So that's your pro tip for real estate home buyers and sellers. Get out there and make it happen, for one. Now, for real estate agents, I want to share something with you. So, and not just real estate agents, people that are trying to grow their business. So if you don't know, and you can't tell by our virtual background, we switched over companies. So I have my broker's license. I had my own independent brokerage. We had 50 agents in our brokerage. Prior to that, I had been at every big box company, almost every big box company out there, and then switched over to EXP almost 5 years ago. Was with EXP for almost 5 years. And in the last about year or so, had been looking at wanting to do something different just because of my vision and the plans and what I want our agents to be able to do, our team to be able to do, our company to be able to do, and going forward, the thing we want to build, we're going to build. I have a big vision. And so we switched over to real brokerage about 3 weeks ago now, which is really freaking cool. A lot of my friends I already knew with the company, and I never really asked them, like, why didn't y'all go to EXP? Like, what was the difference between real and EXP? Well, I'm not going to go into that right now, but I already had friends there. So we're at the real brokerage now, and we're having a really good time, and we're learning some cool things. Last week, I think it was September 6th. We, as the real brokerage, did a virtual event called Own It. And it's to teach you guys how to own the market, own your database, own your lead gen, own growing your business. Because number one, the real estate market sales are down across the board. It isn't just that team. It isn't just that person. It's across the board. Title companies' numbers are down. Lenders' numbers are down. Lenders are going out of business. I mean, it is what it is. We're in a different market than we have been, but it's a great market. So it means you, as a real estate professional, need to learn how to grow your business, or what are tactical ways to do it that we're actually going to help you grow. You don't have to always spend a bunch of money. It's not the next shiny object. It's usually just you having to do the work. So in the Own It virtual event, there were some really good tips from the presenters that put on. I'm going to share my screen. I am hopeful that I've set this up right. Not the most technologically advanced person, but I'm going to share my screen and show you one of the presentations. It's about 15 minutes. You should get a pen and paper handy and take notes. They say if you write things down, number one, you retain it better, and you're actually more likely to implement it, because most people, unfortunately, just watch Zooms or watch presentations, don't take notes, and then don't take action. So let's see if I can make this happen. I'm going to share my screen. Let it be what it needs to be. Let's see. I think this is it. Let's see. Check it out. So the bulletproof revenue machine. Now, let's see if we are going to be able to play this right. Let's try.
Because you're going to need my full screen, because I'm going to show you stuff.
There we go.
Are we good? So just give me, all right. If you can see my full screen, just give me F for full screen in the chat. Give me an out. Whoa. Okay, something happened. I'm not full screen anymore. Okay, there you go. That's perfect.
Instagram image.
Okay, are we good? Can I jam?
You're perfect. Yep.
Okay,
it
awesome.
Looks good.
All right. So here's the full screen. So what I'm going to show you this. I'm going to ask you this big question, which is, what is the best marketing channel right now? Think about this for a second. We need to market to get more things into our pipeline to build, grow, scale, and all of that. What is the best marketing channel right now? Please put in the chat. What do you believe is the best marketing channel right now? Face-to-face, your Coach Mike Shum, so good. SOI, social, the one you use, Chris Clark, C-squared, you're so good. Networking, social is a good marketing channel, awesome. Warm outreach, text, phones, face-to-face, SOI, text, social media. Okay, what else? SOI, good, a lot of SOI, like work the SOI, old-fashioned calling and door knocking. You got to create those opportunities wherever you are. Emails, SOI, good. Well, we got a lot of SOI. So private clients, thank you for saying private clients and not past clients, because your past clients are not dead. Like they're your private clients, right? That's important. Circle dialing, door knocking, whatever gets you. So here, I want to show you something. So here's this. So we talk about all of this, right? We say outbound. So we talk about outbound being a really good channel where you actually outbound make calls. Yeah, that works. We talk about direct mail. Hey, we got to go send something to somebody to react to something. Hey, we talk about networking. Oh, we got to do something. We got to network, all of that. Hey, we got to door knock, door drop, do open houses. All of that works too, right? That's good. Then we talk about social. Well, what's happening on Facebook right now? You know what's happening on Facebook? It's your organic reach is down significantly on Facebook. So even though Gary Vee says pages are up, organic reach is down significantly. In fact, my mom messaged me the other day and she's like, hey, why aren't you posting on Facebook anymore? And I'm like, wait, that's crazy. So it should at least match last names or something, right? And then you have YouTube. Well, you can do stuff on YouTube right now, but by the time you actually put a video up, we know the YouTube long tail. So by the time you put some stuff up, it takes 3, 4, 5, 6 months for it to get traction. Okay. Then you have TikTok. By the way, I don't do well on TikTok. You know why? Because I can't. For TikTok, you got to be like Giselle. You can't. I can't do TikTok. I'm not entertaining enough. I'm like, let's go. So I do well on every other. I don't do well on TikTok. Maybe you do well on TikTok, and that's cool, right? You have Instagram. Instagram is so wild that everything is so fancy and strange on Instagram. Like, I'll give you this interesting idea. My team sent me this. This is the same exact video with a different hook. It got 10 times the different views. Same exact video. We just changed the front part of it, nothing else, which is wild. So now you have to hack all of that. So I'm thinking, what is the best marketing channel? And you've got all these channels, and you do all of these, and you got to work them, and you feel like you're doing more, and you're getting into it. But what actually works? And I'm thinking what works is this one thing, which is we have to slow the scroll. In each of these platforms, everyone's teaching this, and I'm a full believer in all of this. But in each of these platforms, what happens? This is what happens. I'm on the platform, and I'm just scrolling. I'm scrolling. How fast can I go? I'm scrolling faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. Right? So your video has to stop. Your video has to pop. Your captions have to pop. This stuff is really hard. So I'm thinking, if I have to get myself out of this wonky situation, what do I do? And I want to do one thing. Is I want to slow the scroll. I want to control where somebody stops and looks at me and reads what I have to say, does what I want them to do. And that's what I'm going to show you today, because there's only one platform where you slow the scroll, and that is email. Now, the crazy part about email is that most people will poo-poo it because none of us were ever taught to do email right. And today, in the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you how to do email right. In fact, I'm going to show you how I built a 100,000 person email list, where if anything happens to me, I can hit one email and completely rebuild my business, whatever I wanted. If you actually looked at the apps that you use, you will find that you spend most of your time on email. In fact, this is not you, this is your consumer. A consumer spends most time on their email, right? Nobody wakes up in the morning. Like, there may be days where I don't check Instagram, but I always check email. So this is the wake up app. You wake up and you check email. This is the sign up app. When you want to sign up for social media, you need email, right? And this is the serious app. You know what? You're not going to send somebody DocuSign on text message. Email is the serious app. Now, I want to get us out of this wonky situation and do this. So I want to talk to you about the bulletproof revenue machine. I'm going to show you 5 tactics on how to use email. I'll give you the exact scripts that you can copy and paste and send, which will generate money for you right now. I'm super excited to share this with you, by the way. So here's how I want to tell you about email. First, there are 5 rules, all right? 5 rules for email. Let me give you rule number 1. Rule number 1 is this. You need some kind of reliable email marketing platform. I know all of you are pros on this. So you need some kind of HubSpot, or you need some kind of active campaign. That's what I use. Or you need some kind of ConvertKit or something like that. If you don't, or my friend Jimmy Mackin has amazing platform, which is Curator. You need to have some kind of reliable email platform, because if you don't, it's hard to manage stats. Here's number 2. You can only send emails to opt-in. So you can't get a list from your country club and start sending it to them, because that's when stuff starts to break, right? You want to send email to opt-ins. Here's number 3. You have to train the inbox. And let me tell you what I mean. If you don't send email enough, if you don't send it long enough, you don't send it at the same time, if you don't send it the same way, if you keep experimenting, you don't train the inbox. My inbox, when I receive Amy Youngwood's email, should be like, oh my gosh, Sharon always gets Amy's email. The inbox would be like, Sharon knows Amy. Therefore, I'm going to always show Sharon's emails to Amy, or Amy's emails to Sharon. You have to train the inbox. Number 4, you are going to think this is crazy, but I hired an email coach. Let me tell you what I paid for my email coach. I'm being ultra honest with you, ultra vulnerable. I paid my email coach for 6 months, $100,000. All right. And I got 10 calls, 10 30-minute calls for $100,000. He taught me how to build my list, how to grow. Literally, I would ask questions. He would talk, I would record, and I watch the recordings over and over again. That's what completely changed. And you know what he told me? The first thing he said, Sharon, do not schedule another call with me until for 3 weeks straight, you've written an email a day. He said an email a day. And I go, oh my gosh, Dean, there's no way if I did an email a day He's like, people will completely unsubscribe. He goes, you have to train them to always believing that Sharon, their friend, is going to be in their inbox every single day. Yes, that weeded out 10% of the people, but that changed everything. I'm not telling you to do that, but an email a day keeps the spam away, because the inbox is like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Joe always writes Sharon, so Joe and Sharon may be friends, so this is a good thing. But if you are not paying attention, please pay attention right now, because I'm going to give you the only thing you need to know today. And this is my favorite band, Def Leppard. I love Def Leppard so much. I could sing Pour Some Sugar on Me in backwards. I know it that well. I love Def Leppard so much. In fact, if you guys know Phil Collins, who's their lead guitarist, Phil Collins' daughter is classmates with my son. How crazy is that? That's wild. So this is what the greatest email should look like. So let's say I was writing an email to Joe. I'd be like, hey, Joe, subject line is Def Leppard in LA. Dude, you want to go? March 12th, Hard Rock. Here's the big ass link. This is a great email. You know why this is a great email? Because this is the email that you would send to a friend. It has no pink font. It has no pictures. It has no the floating graphics of a Loom or whatever other video software you get. This is how you write email. Can you see it closer? Sure. Say, dude, you want to go? March 12th, Hard Rock. Here's the big link. This is why this is important, right? I want to show you how to write more email like this, because the more email you write like this, the easier it becomes. By the way, if this is hard to read, I will make sure to send you all the slides so that you can have all of it. All right. So let me give you the profitable email content machine. I'm going to give you the exact emails that actually work for you. I'm going to give it to you in the next 6 minutes. All right. Here's how you want to think about it. You want to think about email in 4 ways. Number 1, you got to activate the inbox in some way. Number 2, you got to create curiosity. Number 3, you got to drive engagement. And number 4, you got to drive what I call endearment. Until they love you, they're not going to do anything. But until they actually activate, turn the switch on, they're not going to do anything. Anytime you think about email, you want to think about these 4 things. Is how do I get activation? How do I get curiosity? How do I get engagement? And how do I get endearment? So let me show you the emails that actually get there that you can utilize today. All right. So here you accelerate activation. Here's the first email. If you do nothing else, and this is the only email that you sent today, you would send something like this. Quick question, no name, no first name, nothing. You would send a quick question. Are you still interested in buying a home in blank? Are you still interested in buying a home on Maui? Are you still interested in buying a home in Las Vegas? Are you still interested in buying a home in Toronto? Are you still interested in buying a home in Salt Lake? Are you still interested in buying a home in Phoenix? That's all you would do. And you would click send, because what this does, it asks a super specific question. It's not like, hey, Joe, hope you're doing well. We met at an open house. You don't have to do any of that. This is called the 9-word email that my friend Dean Jackson popularized. Super, super smart. This is one email that will work. In fact, if you even send this on text, it'll work really well. So all I would do is I would take your dead leads, as in you've not talked to them in the last, anything that who I've not talked to in 90+ days, put them all on a list, send it. Are you still interested in buying a home in blank? Click send. Just watch your phone light up like a Christmas tree. That's all you have to do, because what we're trying to do here is we're trying to generate responses, because all conversion happens in conversation. I'm doing whatever it takes to generate a response. So that's number 1, activation. Are you still interested in buying a home in blank, right? That's a good 9-word email. Here's the second 9-word email. This is a Jimmy Mackin email. He did a great job with this. I loved it as soon as I saw it. And this is really good right now. Hey, would you like me to give you a heads up when interest rates drop below 6% or 7% or 14% or whatever, right? It's crazy. So if you were funny, what you would do is you should say, hey, interest rates drop below 14%, and then you do a strike through, and then you do 7% question mark. That's when you win. You want to do small things like this that make them smile and respond, right? So what this does is it forces them to respond to you, right? It forces them to respond to you, and this is really good. So this is the second one where you activate. All right, here's number 3. I want to show you how to create curiosity. Creating curiosity is ultra powerful, and you can't create curiosity in email without actually activation. So here's an example of creating curiosity. My most favorite way to create curiosity, I'll go deeper in this, is this idea I call deal of the week. And the idea for the deal of the week, by the way, if you did if you did nothing else and you send one deal of the week every Wednesday, you will have more business in starting in 6 months than you can ever imagine. This one email will activate your database faster than anything else would, but most people will not follow this exact same way. Now, let me tell you why it is. Here's the email. The email says, Lahaina, deal of the week. Vegas, deal of the week. Toronto, deal of the week. Salt Lake, deal of the week. Because when I see the email, I see two things. I see the location, which I'm familiar with, and then I see deal of the week because I don't want to miss out on a deal of the week. And then it says this, hey, this week's deal of the week is a condo in Lahaina that will go fast. And here's the interesting part. Two things about the property, two things that you like, and the price. That's it. I'm not saying anything else. I don't want to say this is a beautiful craftsman which was built. Nobody does any of that because in email, people scam. And when you do that, powerful things happen. But the most important part of this email is this. I want to show this to you, and is this line. If you're interested, just reply and I will get you all the details. If you're interested, just reply and I'll get you all the details. I've sent over 1 million of these to test. And here's what this doesn't have. Oops, sorry. This doesn't have no pictures, no address, and no links. What does everybody put in a just listed, just sold, or email? They put pictures, addresses, and links. And what happens? Someone clicks on them, they take it somewhere else, and now they're lost in some other part of the internet. What you want is they're reading email. If this week's deal of the week is this, if you're interested, just reply and I'll get you all the details. They have no picture, no address, no link. And that's why this works. Like Colleen says something great. She's like, I love the deal of the week. I sold my own multifamily listing in 3 days that way. Not now showing another multifamily to an $800,000 buyer. It works. Colleen, I appreciate you. Someone should screenshot that because this is good proof for me. Thank you so much for doing that. Right? This is so cool. Colleen, thank you for sharing. This is so easy, but I will tell you, you have to resist the urge to not put any pictures, not put any links, and not put any address. All right, that's number 2. Let me show you the next one. Jimmy came up with this, by the way. This is not me. This is a version of the deal of the week that Jimmy changed, which I love so much. And Jimmy's going to be on. Jimmy and I do a lot of email, right? Is this the Scottsdale early access? So let's say Joe Herrera has a listing appointment in 4 days, right? What Joe's going to do is he's going to write an email to his database and he's going to say, hey, I'm meeting with a client tomorrow about putting up their home for sale in a few weeks. Here's everything about the house, 4-bedroom, 4-bath, blah, 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 range, so and so. Hey, can you shoot me a reply if you're interested and I can get you all the details? The best part about this message is it's a modified deal of the week and you're not even selling the house, you're selling the appointment. Think how powerful that is. Now you reach out to your database and you're selling the appointment. It is the coolest thing in the world. Because then let's say you get 4 responses. You can go to your client and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, I'm so glad to be here today. In fact, I actually just wanted to see the appetite for our home without even putting it on the market. And by the way, look, I got 6 responses right now. Proof over promise. Because now they're like, wait a minute, this is insane because he didn't even get the listing and he's already started working for me.
So Sharon, correct me if I'm wrong, but so agents will get hung up on the details, right? They'll go like, well, what if I don't have a listing appointment? Here's something cool. If anyone in your office has a listing appointment at any time in the next 30 days, you could get some details about it. And if that's important to you to have that concrete thing, you could say like, hey guys, our office has an appointment in the next couple
our team is exactly right. So Joe's extremely right on this one. We should not lie. However, right, but you should tell the truth in the most truthful way. So hey, you can say our team is meeting with a client tomorrow about this, and that is totally true, right? Now, if someone says in your office meeting or whatever, they say this, now it gets really fun really quickly, which is super awesome. So Joe, great point on that. All right, I got 2 more. I want to show you how to engineer engagement. If this is probably my most favorite email that when I see you at some point, I will tell you the story. I did a video about how personalizing gifts with your info is a terrible idea, but personalizing for the client is a good idea. So for example, if you were to get a client bath towels, instead of putting Sharon Srivats's logo on it, I would put my client's logo on it. If you want to give somebody a gift, you want to personalize it for them. If you want to order them a set of steak knives, instead of putting your logo on it, put their logo on, put their name on it. right? If you want to get them a cake, get it about their house, not with your logo on it. So I did this video and it went bananas, right? And then I did this thing. I said, hey, I made this video, gifting gone bad. This is my subject line. And I said, I made this 51-second video that went viral on Instagram. I talked about how sometimes we confuse gifting with marketing. In fact, it was a big lesson that I learned myself and a mistake I won't make again. Here's the link. It's 51 seconds long. Shoot me a reply if you'd like it. Here's what I'm doing. I'm dog fooding my own content. I'm taking my own content on a video that I made and I'm sending it to my list and I'm forcing more clicks into my own social platforms. I don't even want to wait for the platforms to have a good result. I'm going to force results into Instagram. Instagram is like, wait a minute, we just got 25,000 clicks into Sharon's video. This video must be really good. Let's show it to more people. This is where I actually manufacture my own engagement. If you're going to put out content and you think it's a good piece of content, send out that piece of content to your list so that you drive people back to your own content. You get to manufacture your own views as opposed to waiting for the platform to generate them, right? This is another one. I call this director's cut. If you, instead of sending a just listed email, here's what I'd like to send. Hey, I call this director's cut and I say, hey, we just launched a new listing in the private gated community in Diamond Head. I want to give them the address. Hey, the address is this, but I wanted to give you access to the director's cut of pictures that are not on Zillow. Here are 21 secret photos showing you the entire home. I am sure you got some photos that you excluded from putting online. Put all of those in a Dropbox folder and put the link. You want the raw Dropbox link. You don't want anything fancy, because now when they click that, they're like, wait a minute, Sharon gave me access to something that no one else gave me access to. Now they have more endearment, more engagement with you. This is way better than a just listed email, because in this way, you're automatically saying it's listed, but I'm giving you more than anything else. All right. Last one. Here's how you emotionalize endearment. We think we will go on Facebook and say, I'm looking for a esthetician, I'm looking for a massage therapist, I'm looking for a personal trainer, but we won't do that on email. I wrote this email in a way for one of my friends. I said, looking for a dog walker. And this is the truth. Hey, my favorite dog walker recently moved to Puerto Rico to avoid paying all taxes. But it's the truth. My clients at Kapalua in Hawaii are looking for a dog walker instead of looking on Yelp. The truth. I thought I would ask my trusted clients and friends first. That is you. If you have a kind and trustworthy dog walker that you'd like to recommend, could you please reply to this message? What am I doing? I'm doing endearment, because now they're like, man, Sharon's such a nice guy. And all the dog friends, I have already won on this email. Every dog lover now loves me because they're like, oh my gosh, Sharon's amazing. Small things like this change big time when you do that. All right, last two. I had my friend Tim Macy actually do this, and a few people see this. I've seen people do the Starbucks thing, and they give away like hey, I'm going to give you Starbucks. Instead, I actually say, you want to create endearment? Send an email with free Starbucks. And literally this, hey, I loaded up $100 onto a Starbucks gift card. Here's the link to the barcode. I'm doing this every Saturday this month, just as a thank you for being in my inner circle, for working with me, for referring clients to me, and supporting my real estate business. Tell them the truth. Why are we hiding behind it? I'm doing this every Saturday this month, just as a thank you for being in my inner circle, for working with me, for referring clients to me, and for supporting my real estate business. And this, if you'd like to have a cup of coffee together, shoot me a quick reply. Right now, what it does is, if you got this email, you know what you're thinking? Man, Sharon's so cool. That's what you're thinking. It's way better. This is so much more serious on email than it is on any other platform. All right. So most importantly, I want to go to this. Don't forget this. You may say, hey, Sharon, but what about this bi-monthly newsletter that I send, etc.? Think about it from this way. Does it activate the audience? Does it generate curiosity? Does it create engagement? Does it give endearment? You want as many of these as possible. And when you get those all working, it gets very fun very quickly. So that was my few strategies on what you can do right now to create some.
Oh my, so
Okie doke. So hopefully you got something from all of that. Super cool, isn't it? Now go back and watch this again and again and again. And if you want me to send you that video, I can do that too. because we do have a copy of it. But you guys got to like figure out what's the best way to grow your business. It's simple steps, like he just said. It makes sense. He's as smart as crap dude. And if you learn from people that are doing more than what you're doing, that's how you get ahead in this world. So I'm Tricia Turner. Make sure and stay tuned every Tuesday, 12 o'clock Central, coming to you with some way to help you grow your business and improve your life, or both. Next week, we'll be going over, or we'll be hearing a market report about Jersey. What's going on in Jersey? Is the market up or down there? And if you want to get into a university that we've created, because here's what I know that the real estate market is hard. Being successful, I should say, in the real estate market is hard. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm here to make a difference in this world. I believe I can change the world one person at a time, one day at a time. So hit me up if you want access to our university for free, or if you want a copy of this video so that you can learn about email marketing and what to do to really get your emails read and to get engagement and activation. Have an awesome day, y'all. Bye.